The president called for bipartisanship during tonight's speech, and he hit on themes ranging from hiring to prescription drugs to giving terminally ill Americans access to experimental therapies. Democrats did not seem especially enthusiastic.
The individual mandate is now gone. Thank Apple has just announced it plans to invest a total of $350 billion in America and hire another 20,000 workers. The motto is "In God We Trust." The FDA approved more new and generic drugs and medical devices than ever before in our country's history.
All right, Democratic Congressman Luis Gutierrez explained after the speech that he wanted America to know his party is still resisting this president. Former Congressman from the great state of Utah, Jason Chaffetz, joins us live. And you were on the floor.
Yes.
So what was the mood there tonight?
You know, a nice benefit of former member of Congress. You can still sit on the floor with all the Democrats deciding not to show up. There are plenty of seats. And
That's
so,
true.
Look, I thought the president was pitch perfect. I think it was one of the best speeches. I think he hit on themes, and he was highlighting regular Americans who went through extraordinary circumstances. But I got to tell you, it was disgusting, it was inappropriate, and I think it was flat out wrong, the way a lot of the Democrats on the floor, not all of them, but a lot of them acted. I mean, we're recognizing a police officer and his wife in New Mexico who helped a young child by adopting it into their family, and you had Democrats sitting on their hands.
See, we couldn't tell. I couldn't tell with all these. Now, some of the policy things I would expect, they're not going to cheer for the repeal of the individual mandate to Obamacare. We can't expect that. But I would think for those stories and for things that are to the common good of America, that they would be standing for some of those.
The flag, "In God We Trust," protecting the border, helping our troops, recognizing ordinary Americans who went through extraordinary circumstances. And these Democrats have the gall to sit on their hands and, as Luis Gutierrez talked about, just resist. They're resisting America. They're resisting apple pie. They're resisting the flag. And I think that was in stark contrast to the patriotism that you saw exuding from the president in a very tempered way, something they said they want to see from the president. And then you saw the rousing applause by the Republicans in unison. You get tiring going up and down, especially when you're as out of shape as I am. You got to get up and down all the time from your chair. It was really an amazing speech.
Well, there were, 110, 115 different applause times. And, you know, that's going to happen for the party that's supporting their president. In the meantime, we have 12 Democrats, we understand, who openly said, I'm not going to go. I am leaving a seat for Jason Chaffetz so that he can go. There were others who said, I'm going to show up, but I'm going to wear all black. In protest or in support of Me Too, or, you know, any kind of ways that you want to interpret that. But an interesting point, and I can't remember if this was when the president was, I think it was when he was leaving. Can't remember if he's going in or leaving this. But a moment with Congressman Jeff Duncan. We want to play that and get your reaction.
Let's release the memo. Oh, yeah. Oh, don't worry. 100%.
So he was saying they released the memo. And it sounds like the president says 100%. We hear it's probably coming this week. What do you think should happen with the memo?
I do think it should be released. I think America is open and transparent. We err on the side of being self-critical. That's how you make things and improve things. Remember, a lot of this was about a closed case at the FBI that a lot of people felt was mishandled. The Democrats were leading the charge about Mr. Comey and felt that he was acting inappropriately. But the more we learned the facts, the more the Democrats switched their position and said, oh, no, now we don't want to see it. And I just think we have to look at it in order to fix it. If there's nothing wrong, then America will see that. But this will be the first bit of evidence. The Inspector General will come in probably the next 30 to 60 days. Independent. He was appointed by President Obama, approved by the Senate, 450 employees in Michael Horowitz's group. When he comes out with his report, that I think will be the most definitive word on these actions.
What do you make from House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi and also the top Democrat on the House Intel Committee, Adam Schiff, saying that what the GOP has put together in their 4-page memo, their summary, is misleading? It mischaracterizes what was happening with our law enforcement agencies. Democrats say they're working on their own memo, but they can't get it released because they couldn't get it through the vote. Is that also part of the transparency, saying, all right, we'll let the Democrats release their memo too. The American people can look at them and decide what they believe?
Well, we haven't seen the memo yet, but my understanding is the Republicans that are on the Intel Committee weren't able to read the Democrats' memo before they wanted to bring it up to a vote. So some gyrations there within the Intel Committee. I do think it will ultimately come out. I think the president, as he said to Jeff Duncan on the floor of the House just tonight, that he is committed to having that out there. I think the president wants to expose the truth. And shouldn't we all stand for the truth? Mm-hmm. I mean, that's... What are we afraid of? That we should want to know what happened in a closed case where there's a lot of allegations where things were mishandled.
Are you worried about the impact on morale at the FBI and other places where we know there are many, many good men and women who around the clock are working and sacrificing, and their families as well, to defend this country, to put people in jail, get bad guys and gals? Do you worry about the impact this is having on them? Yeah,
look, the rank and file people that I know within the intelligence community and within the FBI, they're good, hardworking, patriotic people who put their lives on the line for this nation. But I think they also recognize that maybe some people in management and some very senior people maybe mishandled things. And that makes them probably even more disgusted than ever. And I hope they know in their hearts that what members of Congress are doing, and I was doing when I was in the House, is trying to ferret out all the garbage so that they can actually do the job that they were hired to do. And it's sometimes difficult, and you got to call people to the carpet, but that's who we are as Americans. That's how we make things better. And we are self-critical, but that's part of America. We've been doing that, the oversight, since 1814. Abraham Lincoln did it when he served in the Congress.
Back in the day.
Yes.
Way back in the day. All right, will you stick around and come back? Because we have some other things to talk about with you. Thank you for giving us your time.